So, who are our characters so far? Who are our characters? Mason.
Armor.
We have Amur, which is in the exam picture. He's the older brother. Who else? Cora? Eden, which is the son. No, actually, no, it's Mason. And what's our father? Who's our father? What's his name? Mason?
Ryan.
No.
Ryan.
Say Warren.
Hey, Ryan. My mom's boyfriend's name Ryan.
Okay. Coming back in 3, 2, 1. So, they are talking about, we first see them and they're going through and talking about the land and farming. Let's look at these pictures for a second. No, this one right here. So, who remembers the rivers? What were the rivers called? What are the rivers called? Tigris and the Euphrates. Very good. So, very good. What did the Tigris and the Euphrates River help them do?
1, 2.
What did the Tigris and the Euphrates rivers help them do? Mason.
Help them grow crops.
Very good. It helped them grow crops. If they didn't have the rivers, what kind of dirt or soil would it be?
Sand.
It would be sand, right. And can you grow much in sand?
No.
No, you cannot. So they are talking about it. Who remembers what this water is called?
Wait.
We talked a little bit about it. So we have the rivers. We have the rivers. We have the 2 rivers. But look at the land over here. If I live over here, how can I get the water? What did they build in order to have the people who live kind of over on this side? What did they build so that they could get water? You remember what they're called?
Boat.
No, well, they built boats, but that's not what I'm going for.
Wait a minute.
What did they build? Mason?
I think it's called a canal.
You're right. You would be right. So a canal. Ready?
I should.
A canal. Now, canal is a little. They built a canal. Usually they're straighter than that because they were man-made. They built a canal, which is another little. It's not a river, but it looks kind of like it. But they built these canals off of them so they could also have houses and farms over here without having to walk all the way over here. They built what?
Canal.
They built what?
Canal.
Canals. So,
It's cut off.
they built canals that attach to the river. It's important to know that they were attached to the river, right? Because otherwise, how would they get the water?
Yeah.
So they were attached to the rivers so that they could have more good land to farm.
And sandstone.
So, yep, in this picture we have, what's the big brother's name?
Armor.
Amur.
And
In here we're talking about what? What are they looking at right here? Cora? Right, so they're looking at like the markings. Now this is like their words. So you know how we're learning how to write in English or in our alphabet. This is their way of writing. Does it look anything like ours?
No.
No, and in a minute I'll show you a sentence in that. So it's called what? Does anyone remember what the words are called? What is their writing called? Remember with the pencil away, you don't need it. I need some cores activated, guys. We need to wake up. It's a nice Monday morning.
I've already got mine activated.
Nope, it's not activated if you're laying on your desk. There we go.
Activated.
Nope. Keep going. Okay. Do you remember what it's called, Mason? Mason, the only one that was listening?
is marking is clay.
I'll give you a hint. It's beautiful.
It's just in my head.
Ah, it went out of your head?
Really.
So everybody say cuneiform.
Cuneiform.
Cuneiform is their way of writing. Now, it is made up of symbols. Symbols are just, they represent, a symbol represents something. So just like our alphabet, the letter O represents what sound? The letter R represents what sound? So those are our symbols that represent the sounds. These are their symbols that represent their language. Okay. So, what did they write on? Did they write on paper? Did they write on paper?
No.
No, raise your hand. What did they write on? Grace. Clay or wood. So they didn't have paper, so they wrote on clay or wood. They had things called scribes. Everybody say scribes. They had people called scribes who wrote things out. So just like we have authors or journalists that are the writers. Nod your head if that makes sense. Alright, you go take a break. Go take a break.
Yes, I remember.
So march in the map. Go march in the basket. So, just like we have authors or journalists who write things, they had scribes that wrote things down. So, who remembers what this was? What is that? Carly? Oh, it's a type of pyramid. What is it called?
Ziggurat.
Oh, I didn't call on you. You're not letting other people have safe brains. You need to not call out. We are all working together. I know you knew, so you need to raise your hand next time. It's not okay to shout out. Okay, so what is it called, Lily?
Ziggurat.
A ziggurat. What is at the top of the ziggurat? Who remembers that? What's at the very top? Cora.
I remember.
That's okay. What's at the very top, Caitlin? A temple. Everybody say a temple.
A temple.
And what is a temple? What is a temple? What is a temple? Grace?
Nash. You're not supposed to do for the plate. Over there in the home. I forgot.
So not using that right now. You don't need that right now. Nash, put that away.
Nash.
Shh. Carly, I got it. Thank you. So Nash, why don't you give me 30 marches? Silent marches. Like this. Okay. Go ahead.
Why?
Because that's what I want you to move. Right now you're distracting my class. And if you can't move,
them looking at?
because you're distracting them, honey. And you're distracting me up here. I'm trying to teach. I'm telling you to go move.
When I'm not, they're still looking at me.
Okay, well then try not to. Okay, listen up here. Okay. What is a temple? What do you do at a temple? Kevin?
It's like more like you do like those marks to do
Think you're on the right track? What is a temple? Grace?
Some kind of church.
So it's kind of like a church. Now they didn't have a church back. They didn't have a church, but this is where they came to worship their many gods. So they have more than one. They have one for each type of thing, like a sun god or different. They have different gods. In some religions, they have many gods. Other religions, they have one god. There's lots of different things that people believe in. And is it okay if they believe in something different than we do?
You're still looking at me. I don't like it.
Hey, shh.
I already said stop.
And no talking.
No, I've been looking at everybody to make
Okay.
sure. Babylon.
So,
Babylon. Nash, they weren't looking at you.
okay.
I looked at everybody in the book to watch, see if they were doing a chair, and they're not even looking at me. No, they're looking at me.
Everybody's eyes are on me. 5,
in his chair.
4,
I
3,
wasn't making sure anybody else.
2, and 1. Here, Nash, your timer ran out, so you need to come back. Okay.
Babylon, Tigress, Euphrates.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
I read them all.
So, this is just a map of Mesopotamia. We have our Tigris River. As every time I talk, you are not going to talk on top of me. It is not okay. It is very rude. We have our Tigris. We have our Euphrates. We have Babylon. Who remembers what Babylon is? Caitlin? It is the biggest city that they have. Now, when I'm talking big city, am I talking like New York City?
No.
No, this is a different kind of big city.
Branson.
Probably even smaller than that.
Okay,
Okay, so
my dad.
we have 2 kings that we talked about. We have 2 kings. Does anyone know what their names were? And on our timeline, they came in different time periods. There are about 1,000 years between them. We have King what? Hammurabi. And we have King what else? What's the other king's name? Do you remember, Mason? King Nebuchadnezzar. So everybody say King Hammurabi.
King Hammurabi.
And King Nebuchadnezzar.
King Nebuchadnezzar.
Now, we talked about how King Nebuchadnezzar built the what? He built, because of his wife, he built
Babylon.
what? Torah? Hey, you're right. He built the gardens. Now, still have a hard time hearing Torah because someone's talking. So we have the hanging gardens of Babylon. So, we learned quite a bit about Mesopotamia.